The Super Mario movie is here. The trailer premiered on the Nintendo YouTube channel on the Nintendo Direct, and generally speaking, everyone seems very happy with this trailer. It seemed very authentic to the Mario franchises, the Mushroom Kingdom. Everything looked great. The animation was spot on. Jack Black sounded fantastic as Bowser. It had some funny moments in it, and it really looks like it's going to be a fun time. But there's one conversation happening that's not exactly positive. A lot of questions. A lot of people asking, why did this happen? And that would be the most important character in the Super Mario movie, Mario himself, voiced by Chris Pratt. Now, as I've said, I love Chris Pratt. I'm a huge fan. And when this announcement was made about Chris Pratt voicing Mario, it didn't really seem to make sense. But I was like, hey, we'll see what happens. Well, we have seen it, and it didn't sound great. But time will tell if that was ultimately the right decision or if there are story reasons to lead us to why Mario sounds like that. Time will tell. But the conversation is definitely happening online. Now, one thing I think is funny is that if Chris Pratt were not a white dude, then you would be hearing about toxic fandom. Toxic fandom talking about how that's not my Mario and yada, yada, yada. You would hear those claims from the mainstream outlets because it's all about building a false narrative and a fake narrative. But here you have Chris Pratt, a straight white male, Christian, potentially conservative, people always going after him online for this, that, or the other. And we're not going to have those articles written because there's no narrative to be built around it. Or maybe fans just look at things and they have their criticisms, regardless if a person is white or black or a woman or this or that or what type of religion. Chris Pratt doesn't get the victim narrative built around him, but everyone else does, and then the fans get thrown under the bus. It's very interesting. But what makes this story even more interesting is that one of the most prominent people in the voice acting world has actually had some pretty strong opinions on this topic, and that would be Tara Strong. Tara Strong just simply tweeted this out. It should have been Charles. Now, that is Charles Martinet. Charles is the iconic voice of Mario in the games, and a lot of people really did question this at the time of the announcement of the Mario movie and Chris Pratt. Well, why isn't Charles Martinet in it? He's a legend. He's an icon. It's incredible that this man has become so synonymous with the character, and he could have been in this role. But for many reasons, they decided to go with Chris Pratt. And look, I understand the reasoning to go with Chris Pratt. He's an A-list celebrity, megastar. He's bringing a lot of attention to this project, and yeah, it's easy to say, well, they don't need a lot of attention to this project. It's Nintendo, it's Mario, it's the Mushroom Kingdom, it's Bowser, it's Donkey Kong. They don't need these big-time actors to be attached to it, and I think that that's probably not the case. I think you obviously need star power in anything. You just do. And whether it's positive or negative, Chris Pratt has created a ton of discussion around this movie. He really has, and that is a big talking point right now on the internet. Now, if you're asking me what I think should have happened, Charles Martinet should have been the voice of Mario, and it's not even a discussion. But hey, here we are, and now you have Tara Strong tweeting this out, and then she followed up, taking a shot at Hollywood voice actors. I'm going to put my heart and soul in this for at least 20 years. Help sell billions in merch, make the studios millions of dollars, and make generations around the world happy. Hollywood, we don't care. Now, I'm okay with that message from what she's saying about her message towards Hollywood because, yeah, we all know Hollywood is trash. Hollywood's a terrible place. Now, they get on stage with their award shows and they just preach to everyone because they are the people that can tell us how to live our lives better because they are the moral superiority. They're the great ones right there. And I like how Tara Strong is calling this out. And I think that this is probably a pretty strong message from a lot of people in the voice acting industry, considering Tara Strong has been in this for a long time, and she's been part of a lot of iconic properties and voices that you have heard over the years. So it's going to continue to get interesting. Now, I've had people ask me, like, hey, since they did this thing with Sonic and they made some changes to Sonic after the backlash, do you think Nintendo may actually change this? Well, first of all, there's no way they're taking Chris Pratt out of this movie. That's never going to happen. Now, is there a possibility that they could maybe go back and he revoices the scenes? I mean, I guess that's a possibility, but if you know anything about Nintendo, Nintendo doesn't really listen to criticism. Nintendo is great, but you have to take the good with the bad with Nintendo, and they don't listen to noise. They don't listen to, the social justice nonsense. They don't listen to the virtue signaling nonsense. They also don't listen to fan feedback very much, and they really are in their own bubble, and a lot of good comes from that, and a lot of bad comes from that, but I don't see Nintendo listening to any of this criticism at all. They made a decision to have Chris Pratt in this role, and that's exactly what they're going to intend to do and move forward with that. But the discussion is going on, and I think it's a valid discussion. As much as I love Chris Pratt, I cannot challenge any of these concerns right now because I share some of these concerns. Based on what I heard in that trailer, I didn't love it, but I love Chris Pratt, so we'll see what happens. You guys let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you very much for checking out this video. Appreciate all of you. Appreciate the support. Hope you have a great day, and we will talk to you later.